Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a very special guest. We have another Grammy Award-winning artist coming to the show, right?
Yep, man. Anthony, the man Hamilton. Anthony Hamilton is coming to the building. And Hatch, you don't know this, but I'm going to bring up the first time that we met. I'm pretty sure he probably don't remember.
He don't remember you.
Yeah, but once I tell him when and where, and I'm telling you, Hatch, I can hold a note or two. I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna let him tell you before you start hating how he was like, oh, okay, that was you. Oh, so I'm just letting you know.
We'll see. I mean, like I said, I know I've embarrassed myself enough on this show singing, so I'm not gonna sing today, but I'm going because his is one of the only voices that I cannot get down. You know what I'm saying? Like I can try, but that just roughness and gargledness, but yet smooth, and I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I've tried for almost 20 years, and I can't
imitate it, but never duplicate it.
Absolutely not. But yes, like so, we're looking forward to having Anthony Hamilton, Grammy Award-winning artist, on the show. Again, he's been signed to labels MCA, So Def, RCA. And he, of course, won the Grammy for the best traditional R&B performance that he did with Al Green. You've got the love I need, right? He all started out with that one big hit, coming from where I'm from. That was a classic when he came on the scene from that in 2003, 2004, I think it was. So there it is. Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast with Anthony Hamilton coming up.
No doubt. Let's get it.
Yeet. Hey, so welcome to Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast. It's your host, Hatch, with my boy.
Yep. This is your boy T.O., man. We want to welcome everybody to the Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast.
Yes, sir.
And we got, man, I'm telling you.
We got a special. Matter of fact, we gonna bring it in the right way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anthony Hamilton is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. The Grammy Award winner. The distinct voice. I can sing, Ant, right? I can sing a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. But yours is the only voice that I can't. You just got that little scratchy, smooth thing going.
Oh, yeah.
I can't get yours.
Can't mimic it.
I can't mimic it. I've been trying for 20 years and I can't get it down.
Hey, that's a good thing. That's something that it can only be imitated. It can't be duplicated. So stay in your lane, Hat. Stay in your lane.
I'm gonna stay in my lane. So hey, welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man.
Brother.
You gotta get your ass whooped at Antioch Baptist Church and Macedonia Baptist Church.
Right. To go ahead and get that scream.
Yeah, voice. That's where it came from, man.
That's great. So of course, like I said, that's where you grew up doing your thing, and like I said, learn the craft of song. And that's kind of where it started for you back in the day.
Yeah, man. Charlotte, North Carolina, little country boy. Always loved music. Church was the first place I heard like the voice that made me want to hone in on it and pay attention to it. It was loud. It was kind of scary and haunting, but it had power to it. And I was like, what is this thing that's coming out of this person? And
do you remember who that person was?
Yeah, his name was Chuck. And I was probably like 5, 6, 7 years old. I still remember he scared me because we had wooden floors and he would stomp his feet on the wooden floors and sing so powerful. And I'm like, oh my God, he's scaring me, but it's powerful. And here I am about to be 50 years old in January, and I still remember that to this day.
Oh, he's about to be 52. Yeah, he's about to be 50 also.
So is Chuck still around? Do you know?
Chuck probably he's probably in the upper room right now.
Right.
Already in his 40s, probably back there.
Right. Did you ever have that conversation with him, like when you kind of started making it?
No, I saw him downstairs when it's time to eat. That chicken and then green beans with the roll. But I never really. I just said hey, and kind of hid behind my grandmother. But he was a vibrant spirit.
Right.
So what do you think about? What do you think it is that about all you great singers? When you think about Whitney Houston, you think about Fantasia, Kelly Price, that were they discovered their voices like in churches. And me being from the South, I know what that's like, to be in church, and I mean the Spirit moves you. And as you said, I mean you were behind your grandmother. You had to get your butt whooped a couple of times, and obviously expand those vocal cords, things of that nature. So what is about, especially Black artists? What is it about you guys that it comes from? Obviously from a place within, but what is it about you guys' careers that began in church?
You know what? I think that's the first place, Black people back in the day, wasn't a lot of places to go for us to have entertainment as much as other people. But you can always depend on a good concert in church, especially if it's an anniversary or having a special event. There's always a group that's coming to the church, and different churches sometimes, invite so many different groups and so many voices. That's where to go. If you know anywhere to go to hear good singing, performance, and all that, it's always to have been the church, or that's about it. Without it being a venue, performance venue, but church is where you were allowed to go. It was okay to go to the church.
Right.
When you're young at our age, first coming up, you're not allowed to go to the concerts. You're not allowed to watch certain shows. Solid Gold, I couldn't watch that, until I got a little older.
Yes.
And Soul Train,
can't watch that. The dancing on that. Mama wouldn't let me watch Soul Train.
So eventually I was able to watch Soul Train, and once my grandmother passed away, I snuck. I started. My mom was like, "I go on why they just singing and dancing," so I could watch Solid Gold and some of the other shows. But Lawrence Welch, Hee Haw, and church was all I had at the time. So I think that being all we have and had, it started there.
So about when you were starting to kind of course, you're singing, you're at a young age. About what age were you starting to kind of get out of the church and singing more mainstream stuff?
I think I started listening to a lot of stuff, 7, 8, 9, 10. Started discovering like Michael Jackson and Natalie Cole, James Cleveland, some gospel stuff. And I started to, discover different voices like Stevie Wonder and Michael, not just Michael, Marvin Gaye, glimpse of him, and Al Green started to play around. My mom was getting older, and, and was like, I'm grown now, Grandma, I can play what I want to play. So, you started to get a chance to hear some of this stuff. So around in the 8, 9 years old, and then I started going to school. I was in choir all through school every year. And you started, hearing songs through choir. So I think that's when it started to introduce me to music. Another level.
Right. Now, of course, everybody from the outside looking in, like we've always heard the stories of, half the church saying, stay in the church music. And then the other half saying, no, let them go sing, for the world. Yeah. And there's always that, conflict, it seems, from the outside looking in. Did you ever have that conflict of people say, don't go to mainstream, do gospel music only, or they kind of supported you either way?
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. It's so crazy he asked that, because I always wondered too, because I even with not for me as a singer, but even growing up in the church with my grandmama, that's all she used to do is listen to gospel music. And anytime that there was some secular music coming on, oh,
lose her mind.
Turn that mess off. You ain't playing that mess in my house. Yeah. So that's a great question that had asked that. So I'm dying to hear your answer on this. This is crazy.
Man, just yesterday I was just picking up, my kids like pizza around Thursday, Friday. So I was picking up a pizza, and it's a Black couple that were in there sitting down. And the guy, I guess this guy, I don't know if he was a pastor or not, but he was like, "Hey man, well, I love your music, boys. What's up? Well, so when you gonna put out that gospel album?" She's like, "Yeah, we're gonna put out the gospel album." But I get asked this all the time. So in the beginning, before I made it, or actually after I got a little bit of a success.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you gonna put out that gospel? Like, oh, I can't wait for you to just cut your hair, because I got my scraggle.
Right.
Shave and cut your hair, put on that suit.
Right.
Sing some gospel music. Oh my God. Oh, I could be so happy when you do that. So I've been having that pressure. And then you have people in the church is like, well, you're sinning because you're not singing gospel music.
Of course, right.
But here it is. Here I am doing secular music. I've had T.D. Jakes come to my show. I've had Bishop Todd Hall. I've had all these amazing bishops and people coming to my shows who support me. And I've done songs with John P. Key, Pastor Shirley Caesar, Jay Moss, man. So many different gospel artists. So I was saying to myself, like, this can't be wrong.
You're right.
The spirit of my music has to be pure than what the real gospel people and the churchy people are, or judging it to be. Right. So, I just decided I'm going to do my music. I'm going to keep it clean. I'm going to keep it respectful, loving, sexy. But I have a large church fan base, so I don't want to alienate them. But I still want it to feel good and feel sexy and feel beautiful and free. So I decided to combine it all into my song. And lyrical content is very important. Nowadays there's no romance, there's no setting up the date. It's straight.
We straight go to the club, like pop bottles, and go.
You start the song off in bed, and then you leave the house.
Right, you starting off with the WAP. Like, come on, man. Let me ease into it.
Then you end up with the curly fries. But
there it is.
I just decided to not let that bother me. For a minute, it did, because I felt like, man, maybe I'm sinning. Maybe this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Maybe God gave me this voice just to sing gospel. But I speak about God in my songs and love and marriage and family and kids. I was like, this can't be wrong. And so I just decided to stick with it, man. And, people started to respect me more. I think sometimes people want to push you into a place of you being uncomfortable, so you surrender your own space to them. Once they conquer you, then they don't have no use for you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I go to the church, and then what?
Right. So, I mean, it's like, and that's the struggle from outside looking in, and people always they have the idea of what they want you to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like, and you say you're reaching people. You have a worldwide fan base, and you can talk to them through your music. And you're saying the right things anyway. So it doesn't matter, like, as long as you're reaching them and you have that message for them.
And you know what? I have a broader audience than some gospel people. And I have a little bit more, I think I have a little bit more, there's a little bit more trust, because people know I'm flawed, but they know I desire to be better and to do, so they trust me because they don't feel like I'm so righteous that I'm judgmental.
Right.
So they'll listen to me. So if I say something to them, they know I don't smoke a little weed, I don't drunk some thing, I don't,
I'm a human being. Right.
Yeah. So I think they trust me a little bit more than they would, some pastors and people who are holier than thou.
Yeah, right. Or so it seems. Yeah, already. So tell us about, like I said, when you started, you got your first shot, you moved up to New York, right? Left Carolina, moved to New York. How was that process? How was that first transition? Again, kind of getting away from the home base for you.
Man, I was young, man. I went to barber school. I'm a barber.
Okay.
Good ass barber.
Okay.
And, I got 6 sons. So, I've been, way before them, I was cutting, so I've had a lot of practice.
Man, you should have got a little business. You picked up a little side hustle during this quarantine, this pandemic.
Man, I ain't have enough masks for them heads.
You ain't coming up in here without no mask.
Oh, you ain't coming up. Look, I ain't even, like, my brother had an afro and an afro beard. I was like, Nah, it ain't that long, bro. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, you be all right. You be all right.
Yeah, you be all right, man. You don't look that bad, boy. Put some oil shit in that thing. Excuse me. But, you know, just I was cutting hair, man, and dreaming, singing in barber school and in the barber shop. And I started making some noise. And my name got around to a guy named Dizzy, who introduced me to Mark Sparks, who was, you know, instrumental in bringing Sunshine Anderson. He was connected to Horace Brown, Mary J. Blige. So he wanted to meet me. They said, oh, we're going to take you to New York and we'll get you a record deal. And I was like, okay, I was waiting in the barbershop. First time, he never showed up. I was like, dang. So about a month later, I'm in there cutting, man, and doing my thing, feeling good, and, you know, doing some lady hair. And I got a call from who's now my manager, Eli Davis. It's like, hey, man, I'm Eli Davis. I work with Mark Sparks. We want to fly you out to New York. Wow. This time it was for real. Wow. So by this time, I didn't have any real money. I had about $67, man, and I was asking all my family. Nobody seemed to have money. So I got in that Suzuki Sidekick, man.
Suzuki Sidekick.
It was about 6 or 7 of us in that little mug, boy. And I'm telling you, back then I was poofing. We poofed from North Carolina to probably Maryland. All the way one way. And man, I got to New York and it was a scary, beautiful feeling because I'd seen it on TV. I've never seen so many different people, different genres and different ethnic groups.
Yeah.
And so much energy in one place in my life. It's totally different in Charlotte.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it. I was people watching. And when I went in my first big studio, where Patrick and all these guys were the Aleem brothers, who had concrete studios on Broadway. They You Get Over Like a Fat Rat with Paul Abdul and so much great music. So here I am in there. And I started meeting a lot of people, man, from Puff to Andre Harrell, who signed me for my first major deal. And you know, it was just like a dream come true. And I was opening up for Jodeci in 94, 95. I got signed in 93, my first deal. But my first album didn't come out until 2003. So it was 10 years.
Right. So
2001,
I was a free agent and I signed with the Jets to go into my 2002 season. And I remember that's when they would burn CDs. I had your CD before it even came out. Because I remember it had Anthony Hamilton written on it. Somebody like, what's that? I'm like, hey, this is this soulful dude. You know, it's his voice. It's like he's singing in church, but he ain't at the church.
You owe me some money, Matthew.
Hey, I do.
Hey, I was just about to say.
Hey, Theo, make sure I get my money, Mike.
Already. I remember that, man. That's crazy. That is crazy. Because, you know, back then it was about them CDs and who could get it first. You know what I'm saying?
Get
that thing first.
Started out with the cassette tape. You know, you had that cassette tape. You really bumped.
Oh, yeah. Man, it's so crazy how times have changed and how we have evolved. Music has evolved. And as Hatch said, and like you said, he owe you some money. You know, we had Maya on. Right. We had Maya on as well, and she basically kind of just educated us on, you know, being signed to different labels, being independent, things of that nature. How has that changed you and your approach to how you do music now?
Wow. Being signed to the majors, man, for 15 years, you know, there was a blessing in it. You know, I've been signed to some really, really MCA, Sony, RCA, BMG, all these big labels. And, you know, they have a lot of power because they have people in places and they have relationships with people who allow you to either go higher, further, or keep you from going there. So it's a game and it's an organization. You know what I mean? When it's big money and big business, there are people who are running the organization, and it's not just about your talent. So I had to learn that early. And as I got older and I got wiser and I put out so much music, it's like, you know what? It's time for me to do it on my own and own my own. And so owning my music box through BMG, has been like a blessing, man, because power sometimes is more than money.
Absolutely.
It gives you access to certain things. And now you get to see, like, when you have a record deal, they let you in on certain amount. You sign a deal, you get this money, 100,000, 200,000, whatever. They don't give you that no more, really, not unless you make. But you get this big upfront money that you got to pay back. And that's, you have to pay it back. You don't always get the full dollar. So if you bring in $1, your contract says you start to get paid on 80% or 75 cents of that dollar. So they got all this extra, like you got $700 million, but you only get not the full million, but you get so much. So once you start realizing that, man, it's like, you know what? I need to be on the other side of this thing and have some so I can have power and access to do some other stuff. And when they sell your music to movies and certain things, you're not in those deals. You don't know. They can tell you, hey, you're being featured in this movie, but they don't tell you for how much or whatever. Right. Sometimes they do, but you get 30,000.
You got to ask all the right questions for them to tell you.
You have to ask the right questions and have people who know that have relationships. Because sometimes you can ask the right questions. If you don't have a relationship with people who want to see you win, they won't tell you the inside stuff. And so so that's the difference with having your own and being signed to somebody else. But you make more money too. I get paid
you have to start investing in yourself, getting equity, getting that equity into the business. And then, like I said, I think a lot of them, especially when I've listened to a lot of guys, artists talk, especially T.I., for example, and he'll go on live and explain in detail, how it's best for, some artists, they start out on labels and then they transition and become independent. And then new artists that are coming in now, they realize the pitfalls that these other artists have gone through, being with labels, not really being able to own their music, the masters and things of that nature. And a lot of this I know because obviously we talked to Maya, but even just listening to some of the other artists educate.
I like to talk to Maya. Well, go ahead.
Shout out to Maya up in the building.
Right. So yeah, man, it's cool to hear you talk, and then especially for our listeners. We're talking to Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Anthony Hamilton here. It's good for you to explain too how it's good to be on the other side, the business side of it, because if you don't know, you're not educated, these guys, they will take full advantage of you without, because you're not knowledgeable. And it's the same way in the sports world as well. Hatch knows. It can happen, with, to any and everybody. And so I've gone through that situation. So it's like I said, we love having you on, but it's good to hear you talk about the business side and just not all the glitz and glamour of being an artist. But when you talk about yourself and what sets you apart, I think Hatch kind of alluded to it when we first got on here. You have such a distinctive voice. It's unlike, like you said, it's, people can imitate it, but they can't duplicate it. When I think about distinctive voices, obviously Hatch, he's tried and it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But you think about
one day.
Right. But you remind me, your voice and what he was talking about reminds me of Keith Sweat. Because he has a distinctive voice. You know what I mean?
I can do Keith Sweat.
Hey,
when you're looking the color of your hair already.
Keep me on me too, like, man. You gotta. He about that business, boy. You gotta promote your own shows, man. Don't stop doing that, man. He be on it, like, so he'll call me a couple times a year. At least about 5 times a year, like on some business stuff, like, or more.
Right.
Like, hey, man, I got this situation. What you doing?
Right.
And so he's always been one who's came to me with opportunities and always had some knowledge about the business or an extension of what I thought I knew. So Keith Sweat has always been a real down brother, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what? You know, when I was 14, 15, and you know, you're trying to get ready, trying to decide what clothes you go wear, you go hang out.
That was like, you said 14, 15, that was like 50 years ago.
Probably, yeah. I mean, my body feels like it was 50 years ago, absolutely. But you know, like I said, you had to pick everything out, your clothes, you know, the shoes you was go wear, everything had to match, and you had to rock your cologne. The cologne, that was the important piece. You know, how you go smell that night? What? That was the important piece. I remember I used to rock Cool Water cologne, come in that baby blue bottle with the little silver tip on it. Ooh, I was clean.
I came from a low income family, so I don't know how your mornings were, but mine were rather quick. So I didn't have a lot of clothes to be sifting through, trying to pick out some gear. But I did come across some cologne called Obsession.
I remember that.
Oh yeah, that was the bomb. I had some of that, and bro, I think I tried to make that last for 3 years.
Well, you know what? Since it is 2020, so how about you just step your game up? You know what? How about you try the Hawthorne? Right, the Hawthorne. You can take a quiz, a 2-minute quiz. It tells you the 2 colognes that are best for you. Like one for work, one for play. Right, it's totally risk-free with free shipping and free returns.
What? All of that?
All that, B.
And they have other products too, like deodorant, shampoo, body wash, face cleanser, and lotion.
You know what? And you definitely need the face cleanser for your face. So there it is. Check it out at Hawthorne. That's Hawthorne with an E, and use promo code POPCORN to get 10% off your first purchase.
That's HAWTHORNE.co, and use my code POPCORN to get 10% off your purchase. Hawthorne.co.
Which rhymes with T-O. So listeners out there, I know you guys are in need of a couple things. So again, I know there's the main thing you want, of course, is in a box would be me, right? You would want a box of me. But if you can't get a box of me, you can get a box of awesome.
What? Who would want a box of you?
A box of hats would be pretty great. A box of hats would be great.
Well, I've already had, speaking of boxes, I've already had a cereal box of T.O. So I'm really ahead a long way. I'm about a lot of steps ahead of you. So a box of awesome, obviously that would be me. But as we all settle into this new normal, we're obviously in this pandemic. We're transitioning from summer into fall. Bespoke is here with customized box of awesome collections for guys, guaranteed to upgrade your life. Bespoke Post only sends guys the best stuff every month. No matter what you're into, Box of Awesome has you covered. From style and grooming goods to barware, cooking tools, and outdoor gear, Box of Awesome has carefully built collections for every part of your life. Heck, this sounds just something just for you.
You know what? I
can already envision something in this box of awesome you definitely need in every category. In every category that I mentioned, you need.
Absolutely. And to get started, all I had to do was take a quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers will help them pick out the right box of awesome for you. Right? They release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. It's free to sign up, and you can skip a month or cancel at any time. Each box only costs $45, but has over $70 worth of gear inside. So if you don't want a box of hats, you can get a box of awesome.
Hey, you know what I really need though? What I really need, because I'm going back and forth from LA and Florida, what have you. I noticed that in my LA home, I've been trying to steam my veggies on the stove, and I don't have a top. I don't have any proper cookware. My top is missing from my pot.
Oh, well, there it is. You should go to boxofawesome.com and order your cooking tools.
No, I think that's what I need. That's going to be my first purchase. Is I'm gonna go to the cooking tools column category, and I'm gonna see if they got a pot and have it to where they have me a top on there, because I'm having to just stick a plate on the top of my pot just to keep my steam in there.
You know what? I'm gonna let you order the cooking tools, and I'm gonna see it in my box of awesome in my box of awesome if I can get somebody to come and cook it for me in my box of awesome. That's what I would.
Oh, yeah. I mean, get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code popcorn at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com. Code is popcorn for 20% off your first box.
Get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code popcorn at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com and popcorn, code popcorn for 20% off the first box. So let me bring that to 2020, right? If you were an artist just coming out right now, again, the young snotty-nosed kid at 15, 16, wanting to get in the industry, would you go the route of label, or would you do YouTube, IG, and all that stuff because of what you know now?
You know what? That's a great question. You know who I would pattern my success after, or my journey and business model after? Chance the Rapper really did a great job of creating his own buzz, owning himself 1,000%. He had not a record deal, even when he blew up, and it was all on the Grammys and none of that stuff. He had no record deal, anything, no distribution, no nothing. He just did it. He just found a way to market himself, and the talent spoke for itself, and people caught on to that. He just kept driving. Whoever he had his team who did promotions and online stuff, and just really set up a really great model for him to have access to owning his own. And then when it was time for him to do a deal, he could ask for the moon and get it. Yeah. And so I would definitely go that route, independent route, and really make sure the music is so commercial and so important and so beautiful that you couldn't deny it.
Right. So do you enjoy the writing portion of it more than the singing, or is it vice versa? Or you just have to have both?
Man, I love it all. Like that, sometimes I can be touring and it's so amazing touring and it's great. And, sometimes it could get tiresome. I love it. But then there's a moment, it's like, you know what, how Forrest Gump was running and running and running. I think I'm going to go home now. You sing those songs so long and so much and tour so much, it's like, you know what, I'm done. I need to go and create something new because I'm missing that part of it. The writing and the recording is so important, because sometimes you need something new to speak about, something new to sing. And so you got to go to the studio to make that happen.
Right, man. And speaking of that, you're saying you sometimes you need something new. Obviously, you're speaking of something that inspires you. One of my favorite songs is from the Part of It All album, 2008 album, is Her Heart. Is Her Heart. And so just reading and listening to some of those lyrics, did you write this song, or did somebody write it for you? These lyrics, man, they're deep, bro. I'm talking about, like had the habit of messing up, staying out, getting drunk, and then it said, as you cried in my arms, you woke up my heart, and then as I saw you again, what I found in you, cause her heart won't let me lose her. Like, those are like some very profound, like, was that something you were going through, or you just being an artist, you kind of just put yourself in a room and in a space and you come up with those lyrics?
No, I was married at the time, and I was like,
okay.
I was a good provider, good father, good man, but I was flawed as a husband. Okay. And, eventually, I saw it starting to where my wife at the time, it started to wear on her, and it was wearing on me as well. I think marriage is beautiful, and we were married for 10 years, and we got 3 beautiful, amazing kids. We co-parent very well, but I was running from something, and running from myself as well, and sometimes I would pour a little bit more than normal and act out in a way screaming for my own space. And sometimes that's not the best place for a married man or a married woman to do that. I mean, it happens, but this is a real song. Her tears, but she loved me so much. Her heart was so pure and so set on loving me and saving me that, you know, I had.
Man, I think that was probably one of the reasons. Like I said, I'm a softie at heart. You know what I mean? So when I listen to songs,
and in real life, not just at heart, you just soft. I ain't trying to hear all that.
As he said, we're all flawed as humans. We all have our flaws. Yeah. I'm no different. Like I said, I know us being manly, we can be macho. We don't really want to show or express our emotions, our feelings. But yeah, I fit in that mode. Yeah, I'm a softie at heart and in real life. But I think that's what gravitated me toward that song, because sometimes you can just listen to a song, you just hear the beat and the music, you just vibe to it. But then when you
hear them words though,
man, yeah, when you hear those words, it draws you into the song and really feel the essence of really kind of like who that person is, what they possibly could be going through. And so I know sometimes, like I said, people have their, they express themselves and what they may be going through their song. So like I said, that's why I asked him, like, was this something, like I said, I didn't know until I just heard this story. Was this something that you were going through, or did you have somebody to write it or what have you? And you just got to say, I know there are a lot of artists that have writers, and then you just bring whatever they write, you bring it to life. But it's so refreshing to hear you say that. And then not a lot of us as Black men can admit when we're wrong as we're going through anything. And the word that you use, flawed, not a lot of men, macho men, will admit that. So I applaud you for that, and I appreciate that song, because that's like one of my all-time favorite songs, besides Cornbread, Fish, and Collard Greens.
You know what? That song is so...
where I'm from.
That was my joke.
Stop, Hatch, man.
I'm just saying. I'm just hater, but go ahead.
That song is so huge in Africa, in South Africa, man. I did like 2 shows back to back, like 30,000 people sold out. Oof. I've done 50,000. I've performed for like 100,000 people, and they want to hear her heart. I want to hear her heart. I love Charlene. Oh my God, I love Charlene, but I want to hear her heart. They love that song, man, because it resonates with real people and what they go through, man. And we in these relationships, and they're not always perfect, man. And here I am, I'm so honest. A lot of times you can tell where I'm at in my life because it's in my music.
That's awesome.
Right, that's for sure. I don't even know if you think, or you can remember back when we first met. I don't even know if you remember that.
Yeah, we met. Yeah, we met some years ago. It was at was it at a Grammy thing? We was out.
No.
Before that?
I'm gonna take you way back. We was in the Bahamas.
Way back. Hop on back. Way back.
Come on back.
I'm like this. Hit
it. And I know this is you hear that? That's the hater alert, because it's about to go off, because he about to hate on me right here. You gave me a compliment that he ain't gonna want to hear. We met in the Bahamas at Michael Jordan's golf thing.
That's right.
Oh man.
Now check this out. We were in the bathroom. I was already in the bathroom, and I didn't see you, and I was in there humming, and you didn't know who that was, and you was like, "Was that you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh man, you can sing," and I'm like, "No, I cannot. I ain't gonna tell you, no, I can't sing, but I can hum a little bit. I can hold a note or two."
Yeah. I do remember that though. Yeah.
Hey.
Oh my goodness.
Now he was carrying. I was like, I know ain't nobody ain't no
in here singing, right?
Who in here keep it on beat and on key? Like,
right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Hatch, just FYI, man, I'm a man of many talents. I know this is hard for you to digest,
talent, man.
And for all my listeners, all our listeners out here on Get Your Popcorn Ready, we're here with Anthony Hamilton, the Grammy Award-winning songwriter. This guy right here, like I said, that was a moment when he heard me. In my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, Could this be the moment that I get discovered?
Hey, no.
Terrell, I got my music box, BMG, man. I can sign you now, babe.
Hey, don't do it. They will cancel y'all in a heartbeat. Don't you do it. Don't you put your career on the line, Ham. Don't you put your career on the line.
Put you on a nice shirt, boy. Show that chisel.
Hey, that's all it's about, man. It's all about presentation, man. It's just like when you order something.
I tell you what, you can put out the first album for deaf people. That's what you should do. That's what you should do. You should be the first one. You can be the first. Hey, you can be the first one, T. You know.
Hey, don't
what time it is.
Brotherly love, man. So much brotherly love, man.
Hey, you see, we had Cedric the Entertainer on a couple weeks ago, so now he's been inspired to do comedy. So this is where it's all coming from. So next week we'll have somebody on and he'll be singing.
I'm gonna be singing because
you on here. You inspired him to sing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but you see how this goes.
Hey, man, y'all are funny, man. So I'm enjoying this, man. Thank y'all. It's been great, man. I know we were trying to get it scheduled for a while, but I thank y'all for your patience too, man.
Oh man, we appreciate you taking the time. I said before you get out of here, I said I know you were you're a solo artist, but I still have to give you a couple options as if you were going to be in a group. So what we have a little segment on this show called Cut One, Bench One, and Start One. So start is your best, right? Your bench is your second best. Your cut, you get them out of here. So here's the scenario, my man. So if you are going to be in a group that you never have been, right? Let's say you were 20 years old, you could be in a group in the 90s or late 80s.
Yeah.
Here's your three choices. You got Jodeci, New Edition, or Boys and Men. You have to start one, bench one, or cut one.
Jodeci start all day, every day.
Okay,
Jodeci.
Okay.
Now you got a bench one.
Oh my God.
Yes, sir. You gotta bench one and cut one. So somebody go be out of here. And somebody go be the backup.
Damn, I'd bench New Edition.
Okay, respect. Boys and Men gotta go.
And I love Boys and Men to death, but I'm a big Jodeci, New Edition, and Boys and Men fan. So I cut them for the first summer. We'll pick them back up.
Pick them back up later on. Come around to the tour.
Immediately the next summer.
Okay, respect. Okay, I got one more for you. Let's say
that was hard, man. Y'all wrong.
Oh yeah, we're gonna make it tough on you now, brother. We're gonna make it tough on you. Okay, you gotta do a duo. Now you go do a duo. This is gonna be an automatic Grammy. It's gonna be up for a Grammy, right? The duo is gonna be between three people. Number one, Johnny Gill. Number two, Babyface. Number three, David Hollister.
Damn.
Yeah,
y'all evil, man.
Yeah.
Y'all evil.
Hey, you got
Gill. So you got to start one, bench one, cut one. Which is it going to be? Johnny Gill, Babyface, or David
Hollister?
Hey, we coming with that heat
making machine.
Okay, Babyface.
I'm starting with Babyface.
Okay.
He's got that heat. Dang. Y'all wrong for this, man. These both my boys, man.
This ain't nothing personal.
Yeah, it's all for fun.
We're making you put
y'all
that
wrong,
hat
man.
on.
You know what y'all trying to do? Trying to start R&B beef.
Ain't no R&B beef. We all love around this
R&B
piece.
motherfuckers gonna be carrying pistols and
already. You don't like my guy.
Throat spray. That nigga hit me with three. He hit me with three things of throat spray in my face. In my face.
Hey, we'll post this. We'll put it in hashtag no R&B beef.
No R&B beef.
All right. So starting with Babyface because he's a hit maker, and he'll save the day with a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Then.
Well, he's stuck.
He's stuck like Chuck right now.
He's stuck on Johnny Gill.
I'll bench Dave Hollister because he got that hood in him, man. That hood church.
He got that hood.
That covers a lot of ground.
So you gonna have to cut. So you cutting Johnny Gill then?
Man, I don't want to cut Johnny, man, because he's one of my most favorite voices of all time too.
Gotta be. He voices. Yeah, he up there, brother.
Process of
elimination. But I'm building a team. I cut him for half season.
There it is. There it is.
Season. Gotcha. But I'm coming back and get it.
You gonna come on back. Come on back.
And get it.
There it is. There it is.
So tell me, because I know this. So of all the albums, I mean, what is? I mean, you have so many hits, and I know for me, Point of It All, that's one of my favorite albums. What of all the albums that you have? What is? And I know you've put so much work in. All of them take on an identity of themselves. What would be your favorite album of all?
You got 6 of them, yeah. So that's you got 6 of them things.
No, I got 9.
You got 6 on the with the studio and 3 independent. Is that how it worked?
Yeah, 3 independent and a Christmas album.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's right. You do got that Christmas joint.
Wow, coming from where I'm from, man, would definitely be my most favorite. That's the time that, like, all the blood, sweat, and tears, and the struggles, and the no lights, no water, all that. Like, this was the time.
It says it in the title,
in the song.
It says it, coming from where I'm from.
I can't even. That's my baby, man, and it set it up for everybody. So without that album, man, ain't nobody worrying. None of those albums would be heard. So I definitely gotta pay my respects for coming from where I'm from.
How many times do you go back and listen to that album? Like, do you like maybe every year, all the time? You like just kind of remind yourself?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you have to. You have to go back to go forward. So these albums are, man. And and my Christmas album, Home for the Holidays, is a really beautiful, beautiful album. Even Eric Clapton covered 2 songs off of that album on his last Christmas album. It's a really great Christmas album. If you ever get a chance to
I'm writing it down right now. I'm writing it down.
It's called Home for the Holidays, man. It got Gavin DeGraw on it, Shaka Khan, and someone else on it. Somebody else is on it. But it's beautiful, man. Really 6 original classics and 6 covers. I even do the emotions. What would the lonely do at Christmas? What the lonely do at Christmas? Yeah.
That was tight, T. You ruined the whole moment. T ruined the whole moment.
You heard that? Yeah, you heard it.
Hey, T, next time you sing, hit your mute button. How about that?
I'm hearing 2 great athletes, competitive brothers who are amazing. Both of y'all are amazing, man. I was a Dallas man. I was a Dallas man from a baby up until I just fell in love with the Panthers, man. But I still Dallas is still in my blood. But I'm
Panther fan.
Panthers fan, man. It just happened.
Yeah. So how do you feel about Cam gone? So again, you're a Panther fan. I know you wanted Cam there.
I felt like it was a mistake. I think I think they're so quick to get rid of like people who help build a team, and a lot of times
right.
These rookie players need these
time.
These seasoned players, these veterans, man, who could show them the way. And I think it's so quick nowadays. It's so quick to get rid of people. They had that guidance and that leadership. He was a real good leader, and I think. But they looking at the money. How can save money, make money, all that. Right. So. I just felt like I would have kept him, just like I would, I would have kept him.
So being a Carolina Panthers fan, right, and you're definitely an advocate for the African Americans across the world, always speaking up on that. But the old owner of the Panthers that you root for also is, has some racist remarks. Like, how does that make you feel as a fan of that team?
Just put garbage in the field, put garbage on the field for me. And, I know it's there, but the fact that, it's almost like that slave driver, that slave driver mentality. Like, a lot of times I think they feel like they own the players, but you don't own me. No.
Absolutely.
Right.
You don't own me. So I had I had free will to come play here and all that, but you don't own me. But for you to look at me as if I'm property of yours,
right?
That doesn't sit right with me. So I think they need a lot of cleaning up to do in the NFL, NBA, and all these places. I think NBA has been a little different, but the NFL, even with Jerry and all, man, all that slave, that owner, slave man
mentality,
nigga,
it's right. I mean, and honestly, we're fathers. All of us are fathers, except for Hatch. Hatch doesn't have any kids, but
he has enough for me. He got 13 kids, so I'm gonna get started one day.
Right? Yeah, but man, I know we're on this topic, and obviously it's a topic that obviously it's a bit heavy. But we as Black men, I think we have to, shed light. We have to have dialogue about it. And you have sons, I have sons and daughters, especially with this time that we're going through now. Obviously, it's a moment that we all have to, as men, reflect and see what's going on, and we have kids growing up, and those kids, our kids, are our future. What is it that you've discussed, or with your kids, and especially your sons,
the boys,
Black men? Yeah. Right. And so, you see we're getting killed at an alarming rate. And obviously with what just happened with Jacob Blake, what conversations have you had with your sons about everything that's going on right now?
Man, it's been really heavy because I have 6 sons. My oldest is 31, 29 to 23. Twins are about to be 10 and 8-year-old. And these are all black boys, Black men who look like some of the guys who've been murdered. And when it first started happening, it's been happening, but when it started to get
more visible
and happening so often without any regard, it was frightening. And then it made me angry, and it made me, fearful, but it pissed me off. So I had these conversations with them, like, you know what, guys? Everybody ain't gonna like you because of what you look like or what they think you represent. I said, your job every day is to get home safely. To my older boys, you don't have to boast them, and you don't have to meet ignorance with ignorance. If someone approaches you with ignorance of the opposite race or the same race, your job is to get home safely. If you can de-escalate it, get home, cry it out, call me, we talk about it. You have a chance to do it over again. But if you meet ignorance with ignorance, it can escalate, and your life can be taken. So be smart, keep your head up, be a man, and know that. But just know that you have a better chance having a second day than to just give your life a moment of anger and hate. And I tell my young ones, like, people, there's a lot of hate. I said, there are going to be people of different race, white people, who are going to look at you guys as if you guys are not worthy to be in certain places. I said, we live in a great neighborhood. I said, Daddy didn't grow up here. I showed you where I live. So they think that I'm still, they don't see the value in me, and they won't see the value in you, but you have to see it in yourself. Know that you are special. Know that you are worthy of anything that any white kid has, or any Latino kid, and or wherever they're from. Like, you have the same rights and same access and the same, privilege as they do.
Absolutely.
And so just know that. I said, but don't have a blind eye to ignorance and to hate. I said, because they're killing people that look like us.
Absolutely.
They're killing kids. They're killing mothers. They're killing fathers. I said, so don't live your life in fear. Daddy's going to protect you as long as I can, but I need you to hear me when I speak to you about certain things, and I give you wisdom and certain things I need you to do and pay attention to. I need you to do it, because we're living in a world now that is starting to really disrespect us as people. And I need you guys to work hard. When it's time to do your schoolwork, you do it. You do it right. When it's time for you to represent yourself, you do it, and you do it right, and you hold your head up. And I said, and we're going to pray every night.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to wake up every day and we're going to kick ass.
I love it. So like I said, you're from Charlotte, North Carolina. So you had to see it up close and personal growing up. Do you remember some of those incidents, if you will, like that kind of set you, you know, for your thought process moving forward as a young adult?
Oh yeah, man. Like all that, you know, boy and, you know, hey, what you boys doing around? Like, I ain't no motherfucker. I'm a grown man.
Right.
Even in the neighborhood, I live in a gated community now. And sometimes me and my boy, we ride our bikes a lot. And so sometimes in the evening or early morning, they're not playing golf as much. So we would take, you know, I have access to the golf course, but sometimes it's beautiful through there, man. They make it beautiful. So we like to ride our bikes through there. So we're riding through, and this white man and his friend were on the thing. Oh, whoa. What are you guys doing here? Are you guys members here? Whatever. I said, yes.
Oh, wow.
I said, not only are we members, I said, but I'm a 15-year homeowner. And I was born and raised here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I know Billy Graham and Mel Graham and the people who own this land. So do you need help from me?
Right. What was his response? What was his response?
Yeah. So, he said, hey man, we just want y'all to be careful nobody get hurt. I said, well, they don't really like you riding bike. I said, I get it. I said, but there's sometimes in the evening when you guys are not playing, we like to take a little ride down through here, and we're gonna be careful. These are my kids. I'm gonna protect them. I get it. But don't ever approach me as if I'm not in the proper place or
right.
Where
like
you
I don't belong here. Right.
Like I don't belong here. Like don't. I said, yeah. He got it together real quick, and he's probably not even he probably doesn't even live here. Just bought a social membership or golf membership, and
right.
Yeah, I can tell he had been drinking because he was a little burgundy, but I was like, yeah, you don't want these problems, bro.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you run into people like that. When you talk about privilege, kind of a sense of entitlement. Those are some of the things, like I said, it's when you encounter those things, like I said, they can put you, in a position where you can get out of your character. But I like the way, that's why I asked, what was your response? Because your kids are watching you. That's what I was, because your kids, because like I said, when they're not around, they're going to be a perfect example or a reflection of you and how you're raised and how you interact and how you respond to certain situations. So that was why I asked that. So I mean, that was a remarkable way as far as how you handled yourself.
Yeah, because I'm gonna approach you. I'm gonna approach you with respect, even if you approach me disrespectful. Yeah. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt that one time, and I'm gonna approach you with some respect, and maybe you'll sense that and turn it around. If not, then I'm gonna unleash some stuff on you that's really well placed. Well thought out.
Right.
Make you not want to do that ever again in your life.
Right.
I say you got one time, so I'm gonna tell you, watch your tone and your delivery.
Right. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't want to put him in a position to really get what he was asking for.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? Yeah. If you want it, you can get it. But I ain't trying to take it.
I got it, man. I got it. I got it for you.
Hey, because you gotta tell them, coming from where I'm coming from.
Coming from there, ladies and gentlemen.
Jesus,
yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the Grammy Award-winning artist Anthony Hamilton is singing in the background. Yeah, we appreciate you coming on, man.
Don't try me because I fight.
Hey, you ain't lying. You might want to try Jesus.
Yeah. We appreciate you taking the time, though, out, man.
Thank y'all, man. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad we got a chance to do it, man. And anytime we can do it again, brother.
No doubt, man. And like you said, don't worry about. Like I said, I know we were trying to get your schedule. Like I said, I know having kids, things of that nature. I appreciate you being patient with us. Like I said, I mean, I get it. We missed each other a couple of times, and like I told you in a text, I said, bro, just let us know.
Yeah, you were real understanding, man. I appreciate that.
Oh man, that's how I am. That's how we are right here on Get Your Popcorn Ready.
That's how we roll, baby.
I appreciate it, man. Thank y'all, man.
Yep. I hope you enjoyed it, man. We definitely enjoyed you. I hope our listeners have enjoyed you. Again, we have Anthony Hamilton, Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter here in the building.
I'm an author now. I put out a book called Cornbread, Fish, and Collard Greens. It's available on Amazon and Kindle. Also, if you're not following me, follow me on Anthony Hamilton Official on Instagram, Hamilton Anthony on Twitter, Anthony Hamilton Music on Facebook. I'm gonna get it all figured out. But
say no more. You heard the man himself. Follow him on all his social media platforms. Definitely, like I said, we appreciate you coming on. Like I said, you're definitely worthy of being on this show, man.
Thanks, man. I'm a big fan of all you, man. Y'all amazing. You too, man. I know about you, Hat.
Already appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I be trying. He a hater on me,
man. Yeah, you was a bad boy too, boy. Got them hands. I was like, you got to catch it like T.O. boy. Go in the house.
No doubt.
There it is, man. Well, shoot, yeah, coach up them boys. There you go. What's up, young man? What's up, young fella?
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, man.
All right, brother. Take care of yourself.
Make sure y'all vote. All you listeners out there, go vote. There it is. Vote. And know what you're voting for. All right, man. Love y'all, brothers, and y'all be good, man.
Love you, brother. Peace. My man.
No doubt.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. The man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Hamilton. Thank you for coming on, brother. We appreciate you taking the time. Again, that was some great insight, some great info from one of our R&B legends of today. If you really want to put him in that category, again, I think his body of work that he's done, I think he deserves to be in that category of an R&B legend.
Oh, no doubt, for sure, man. When you talk about, some of the top artists, musicians, let alone like R&B, bro. Right. And as you said, there's always some uniqueness to, the special talent that you hear that sets them apart. Mm-hmm. And just as you mentioned, Hatch, like when you have a distinctive voice, look, and he has that fashion to go with it, all that embodies him being the artist that he is and has become he's like no other. I know, like I said, I don't know of all the albums that he's put out. I know Point of It All is one of my favorites, and the song Her Heart, I think we talked about it. Like I said, if you haven't heard that song, just when we get done, just throw that joint on.
Throw that thing on, boy.
Hey, throw that joint on, but before you throw it on now, go in there and get you a box of Kleenex.
Get your mind right.
Get your mind right. But yeah, man, that song, man, you can just tell, man, it was coming from a place of just hurt, sorrow, remorse, everything, man, just contrition. But man, it was some real life stuff that was resonating through my car, man. And just listening to it through any sound system. But man, Point of It All, Her Heart, that's definitely one of my favorite songs.
And I think that kind of takes us into our 3 and Out, because the first one that I had down was, like I said, what he writes about, the truth and honesty and the authenticity that he writes from the bottom of his heart comes out on paper, which comes through the music. And I think people don't understand, like, if you're wanting to be an artist, you can say, okay, well, I see this on TV, so I want to write about that. Or I see somebody pushing a tight whip, whatever, I want to write about that. But if you go from within, like your real heart desires and what you've been going through in your whole life, and you write about that stuff, I think that's when you'll kind of start putting something down on paper that nobody else can, duplicate, or they can all resonate with as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you think about even not just artists, but I think the essence of every human being, we're all prototypes. And when you think about something that motivates or inspires us, it's something that comes from within. And so obviously with his music, as you just, eloquently shared with us, that's Anthony Hamilton. I think that's a lot of artists and musicians, but there are certain guys with such uniqueness that sets them apart. And as I said, with Anthony Hamilton, you said it too. It's like, you can't mimic, you can't emulate the tones, his voice. It's just something about him that sets him apart. And so, yeah, I like this. This is part of the 3 and Out segment where we pick 3 things, from the entire hour and a half, whatever it is we've been on, that were so profound. We want to share those things between the two of us. We want to share them with you guys that are listening. And so that was Hatch's first thing that of the 3 and Out segment. And I think for me, it would be him sharing that if he was an artist today, and if you think about some of the top artists that are out now, number one, obviously people will say Drake, you got Migos and everybody else, but he mentioned Chance the Rapper as, you know, one of those guys or artists that he would model himself after with his approach to the industry, and Drake as well. And that's going the independent route, being able to embody everything to capitalize on from an artist standpoint, because obviously when you sign with a label, you're kind of signing your life away before you actually make money. So I think that's what he's learned. And I think he said Chance the Rapper is the best example for him as far as his approach to the music industry.
Absolutely. And again, people out there, if you're trying to get into the music business, you need to listen to, you know, stories like that. So they're giving you the model on how to not get taken advantage of, or how to not get screwed over in the music business, because it's going to happen. If you're coming in here with no mentorship and you just like, I want to sign, you're going to sign your life away and you're going to be mad about it. So you guys have to understand the business model of these artists. And like I said, they're giving you guys game. You know what I'm saying? You got to take that in consideration if you're going to be a professional in whatever lane you guys choose as well. I think the third thing for me was when he said he did kind of have a struggle going between the church or secular music, you know, and I get it's so soulful. I think the gift that he's given the world is an example of, it doesn't have to be just church music or the definition of what church music is. It can be pretty much, you know, anything, long as you're talking about honest, authentic things. And of course, he talks about God a lot in his songs anyway. So, you know, I think that he kind of gave us the example. It was actually a real struggle, something he did have to go back and forth with in his head, but I think he chose the right route.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, give you a little 3+ this week. I think one thing I did that did stick out to me as well is when I asked him about who he patterned himself after, like who he looked up to, and he said this guy named Chuck, right? And I think as far as especially anybody out here over like the age of really 16, like you always have people watching you. Like people have to understand you can't just say, I'm going to mentor when I want to mentor, or I'm just going to, you know, be a good example when I want to be a good example, right? He had a 6-year-old kid looking up to this dude. And at that moment, that changed this world. Because if you think about all the people that Anthony Hamilton's music has touched over the last 20 years, it came from Chuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, Chuck didn't sing it, but like he got his, you know, inspiration from a guy that, again, he never had a conversation. He never made a Grammy and then got to call Chuck. It was just like on a total, you know, level that you don't get to award somebody and you don't get awarded, but just go walk around this earth, be a good human, because these kids are watching you, right? We have to set the example. And you never know when you get to set the example. So just try to put on that good person character building, you know, as much as you can when you're in front of people, especially in front of kids. And I kind of took that away from the show as well.
Yeah, man.
So, but there it is, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for tuning in with Anthony Hamilton on Get Your Popcorn Ready podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on the Himalaya app or wherever you get your podcasts.
And definitely go to the video version of this. You can subscribe, obviously, to on Instagram and everywhere else you get your podcast. But if you want to get the audio, the video version, subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Terrell Owens.
There it is. Peace.